back to the 5 o'clock Sweats podcast, the podcast where we like to talk about the things we like to do when we're off the clock working. As always, I'm Ryan, joined by my handsome buddies.
I'm no longer Pennsylvania Derick. I am now, once again, ashes to ashes, New Jersey Derick.
Throwing it back.
Hell yeah. And I've always been New Jersey Chris.
Now you're shrink wrap, Chris.
I'll shrink anything. You think it, I shrink it.
I don't get that reference.
That's a good slogan. We'll talk about it later.
All right. Well, we'll bring it up.
We don't want to promote. This isn't a place to promote, Chris, okay?
Shameless plugs. That's what we're about.
So clearly, obviously, it's been a while since we've gotten together. Last we recorded, we were doing some Halloween episodes, some spooky season movie episodes. So we've had some time between then and now, and we've done these episodes in the past. We just do a little catch up, just throw it around, see what we've been up to. Usually, just like what we've been playing, watching. But if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, feel free. So yeah, I'll start off.
What have you been doing?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've talked about this before, but I mean, I haven't been gaming much. Just gaming once again for me just feels a little stale right now. I know I've said this, we've talked about this multiple times on this podcast. But right now it just really feels like, I mean, Black Ops 6 came out and that's kind of been going. You know, I mean, I know Chris has been playing. I've been playing a little bit, not as much as I thought I would be. But besides that, I'm playing, like I played Sparking Zero, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and that came out. It's a fighting game, though. I mean, it wasn't going to have legs. Like, I saw a report that it's already lost like 90% of its player base, but it's a fighting game. Like, people are going to buy that game one, like day one, play it for a week or two, and then drop it until DLC comes out. Like, there's really not that much to do in the game. So, you know, I beat the main story, and then I played some ranked matches, and, you know, that's about it. I'll play my friends once in a while. Like, if somebody wants to fight me, you know, I'll hop on and I'll fight them. And I feel like that's where I'll play that game now, is just with friends who want to play. And then besides that, the game I've been playing most recently is Halo Infinite. I'm throwing it back to my boy Chief.
Interesting. Is there a specific reason you went back to Infinite?
There is. So Halo 2 turned 20 years old recently. If you want to feel old, I mean, Halo 2, 20 years old, that's insane. But they did something pretty cool, actually. They did release a playlist, throwing it back, like a Halo 2 themed playlist. So the movement is like classic Halo 2 style, no sprint, no clamber. They actually increased the jump height too, to kind of make it feel more floaty like it did back in the day. And the Forge community created amazing looking maps, like recreations of old Halo 2 maps, like Midship, Ascension, Lockout, Beaver Creek, just a bunch of classics. And they play so well. So I've been grinding that a little bit, and it's been a lot of fun, actually. It's been nice kind of throwing it back, getting that nostalgia a little bit. It is cool knowing that Halo Infinite does play so well with the classic Halo movement, and it's got me rethinking, like, you know, I think a Halo game could come out with the classic movement like it did back in the day, and it could be successful. I'm just having a lot of fun with it. The one downside, unfortunately, is that it is incredibly, incredibly sweaty. It is... I mean, I love my Halo, and I think I'm a pretty decent Halo player. I'm basically going even to negative in a lot of these games. Like, these kids like came out of the woodwork, like the old Halo 2 pros, the MLG kids came out of the woodwork to play this playlist, and yeah, I've been feeling it. It's been rough, but I'm having fun still, because it is, you know, it's nice to play on these maps again, and with the classic movement. They added battle rifle starts, which has made it more fun. They actually added a new gun, which is like they've only added, technically this is the second gun they've added since the game's come out, which is insane to think about for a live service game. They added the DMR, basically the Bandit, like the single shot rifle.
I hated that fucker.
So they added a new weapon that's actually never been in a Halo game before. It's called the MK5 Avenger or something like that. It's basically an SMG, like an assault rifle SMG hybrid. So it's cool. I mean, I don't know if that's the weapon I would have chosen, but it's a weapon that's been in like Halo lore for a long time, and people like fans have been wanting it in the game. So it being in the game is really cool, and it plays well. It's just that gun on in this playlist. If you're playing against guys that are like getting the power, like the precision weapons, like the BR, the DMR, like you're screwed. Like you're just basically just trying to cross map them with this SMG, and they're just nailing you with headshots from across the map. But they did add BR starts as of this past Tuesday, so that's made it more fun, but it's also increased the sweat factor because everybody's just beaming each other across the map now.
So how long has this playlist been live, and how long will it be live for?
So it was live, I believe, 2 weeks. So as of this past Tuesday, 2 weeks before that, I think that was the Halo 2 anniversary date. So
so right on the anniversary, they dropped it.
Basically, yeah. And it's going to be permanent, from what I've heard.
Oh,
yeah. So it's cool. I'm glad. I mean, I'm probably going to play that for the most part for now until they add other things. Apparently, there's more content coming, like maybe another new weapon, possibly. We'll see. I mean, the leakers have been kind of digging up some old files that have reappeared, so I'm not like getting like super excited for it, but it is cool. It's nice knowing that like it hasn't been abandoned completely. So what I've been watching recently, I did finish a show recently, kind of just a show that I stumbled upon on Hulu. It looked interesting. And it's called 9 Perfect Strangers. And if you've seen White Lotus, which is it's a pretty popular HBO show, basically just about a random group of people that go to a resort and have different experiences. And they usually have like an ensemble cast with like some pretty big name actors. This one is pretty similar, and it's no different in that regard. So basically, you have these 9 random people that get handpicked to go to this resort to go on like a healing journey. Like a lot of these people have gone through trauma, they're depressed, or have anxiety, or just they're going through something, and
they're leaving Green Bay for New York. Is it that kind of resort?
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
The ashwagandha.
Nicole Kidman is the star of this show, and she's the person who runs this resort. She plays a Russian woman named Masha, who has handpicked these people to come heal, and her method of healing is through psychedelics, mushrooms, and she's basically drugging these people, and they are experiencing different things and whatnot, and the show kind of leads you in different directions. Like, is she bad? Is she good? Like, what are her true intentions? And you obviously find out by the end of the show, but it does a good job kind of leading you in different directions throughout the show. But the cast is really interesting. It's good.
But break me off a piece of that. Who else is in this?
So we've got Melissa McCarthy, who you would know from Bridesmaids and other things. She's really funny, and she plays this role really well. She's got a little bit of humor, but she's not like over the top funny. She plays down the middle. Michael Shannon, who, when I think of Michael Shannon, I think of him.
2 first names, correct.
I think of him in Man of Steel. He played Zod, who was the villain in that movie.
Give this person a quick Google.
Luke Evans.
Don't know him at all.
Who I know the name, but when I saw him, I was like, is that Orlando Bloom? He's kind of like an Orlando Bloom lookalike, but it's Luke Evans.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
In this one picture, he's got like the old, like the early 2000s Orlando Bloom haircut.
Yeah. I was like, is that Legolas? And then Bobby Cannavale, who's just in a bunch of shit. If you look up his name, you would recognize him probably. If you saw his picture. But he's just in a bunch of stuff, and he's just in this show, and he's really good in this show. And there's some other people that I don't really know by name, but I did recognize. But
He was in
Melissa
Paul
McCarthy's
Blart.
husband's in it.
yeah, so he's not in it a lot, but he is in it, and I think that's just really funny that they're married. I just think I watched Bridesmaids recently again, and the whole plane scene with them is so funny. I just like keep thinking like they're married in real life. This is hilarious.
I gotta watch that movie.
Have you not seen it?
Bridesmaids.
Oh
Never
man,
have I ever.
it's hilarious. It's actually one of my favorite comedies ever. It's so funny. So yeah, Nine Perfect Strangers was interesting, and I do recommend it. It's only 8 episodes, and they're about 45-ish minutes per episode. So not
Is that the season, or is that just is it like
it's
a
a
mini
one-off.
series?
It's a limited series, so just one season and it's done. So
Oh,
yeah,
sick.
easy watch. So I do recommend that to anyone looking for a quick show to binge. Other shows I've been watching. I started The Penguin because I've heard great things. Chris, I don't know if you have watched it yet. I know that you're a Batman fan. But basically it's Colin Farrell playing his Penguin character from the Robert Pattinson Batman movie. And I'm 3 episodes in. It's fucking good. It's really, really good. I didn't have any expectations when it was announced, when it released. But all I've seen on like the socials are people just raving about it and raving about Colin Farrell and just raving about the story and everything. And I'm really impressed so far. Colin Farrell's amazing. He just kills this role. He is so good. So Chris, I'll let you know when I finish it, but I think you'll like it if you watch it. It's just like a crime mob show.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I get on the fence with it because there's a part of me that likes him as the Penguin, in the Batman, and then there's a part of me that just like I think I've just been a Batman fan for so long, aka my whole life, that I'm now on like the 3rd or 4th iteration of like all the characters, and it's like when I look back, there's like to me like Danny DeVito is like the best Penguin. So same thing
Yeah,
with
I
like
get
Jack
that.
Nicholson as like the Joker or Heath Ledger, right? So I have a hard time adjusting to a new actor playing a character that I already know because obviously everyone has a different take on it, which is a good thing. But it just sometimes I struggle with that. So I think I just got to dive in, and once I get in, I'll like it. But
Yeah, I think he tops Danny DeVito's Penguin. I mean, but that was also a different version of the Penguin. It's like comparing Jack Nicholson's Joker to
exactly.
Heath Ledger's Joker, just a completely different.
Yeah, there's
Different
like the
take.
very dark, and then there's the very like theatrical over the top. And I think I will say this though, Colin Farrell is like so versatile. Like I'm think of just the movies I've seen him in, and it's like there's such a wide range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's fantastic. And I did hear just like the process of putting on the makeup was like hell. Kind of like what you heard of, if you guys ever heard about Jim Carrey's experience putting on the Grinch makeup. Like
Yeah.
similar to that. Like it's just a miserable experience. So I don't know if he's ever gonna play this character again. I don't know if there's gonna be a season 2 or not. I don't know how the show ends. But yeah, hats off to him. If it's uncomfortable to wear it, I mean, he just kills it. It's amazing.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, if you didn't know that it was Colin Farrell, I would not
You
figure
would
that
never
out based
know.
on just his appearance. He's unrecognizable.
He doesn't sound like him either.
Even exactly, I was going to say even
wow.
voice. I mean, Colin Farrell's. I think voice wise, he's tough to pin because he does have a pretty he's got like an accent, but then he turns it off, and then I don't know. He's good. I guess I got to give it a shot.
No,
I'll kind of wait to see what you think, though. Is the whole season's out, right?
Yeah, it's
So, like on Max.
yeah.
It's just like one shot. Okay.
8 episodes, and they're usually about like an hour long. Like it is they are stretched out
crazy.
episodes, but they are so far so good. And then shout out to Kristen Milioti. If you recognize Derick, will know that name probably.
Yes.
Yeah, she plays. Well, when I think of her, I think of Ted Mosby's wife in How I Met Your Mother, and we all know how that ended. But yeah, she's great in this show. She is so far. Colin Farrell steals the show, but she's a close second. She's fantastic. So yeah, the Penguin, and then Anime wise, I know Derek's been watching kind of the same shows I've been watching, but got the weekly releases of Dragon Ball Daima, Dan to Dan, and Blue Box. Dragon Ball Daima, I've told Derick I really like this show so far. It's fun. It brings back the OG Dragon Ball. It's got a little bit of DBZ mixed in there with Dragon Ball GT, and it's just like, I don't know, it's like a love letter to Dragon Ball fans so far, and I'm just excited to see where the season goes. Dan to Dan's batshit crazy, but it's like a visual spectacle, and the story and the characters are really, really good so far, and it's fun. It's also really dark sometimes, but it has a good balance. And then Blue Box. This show is awesome. It's like my two loves. I love like sports shows, movies, and then romance movies. And it's funny. So you have the two blended, like the two main characters. It's like there's like a bit of a love triangle thing going on, but the guy is a badminton player, which is close enough to pickleball where I'm like, I can relate to this.
That's why.
That's why, yeah.
You don't just like it for
even some of the slang they use in the show is like, oh yeah, I can relate to that. Like this is very pickleball-esque. It's just the ball can't touch the ground, or the shuttlecock can't touch the ground. Nice.
The cock can't touch the ground.
Cock can't touch wood. Cannot touch the wood. And then she plays basketball, and there's another character who's a gymnast. So it's a good show. It's a good blend of things that I really love. And then Chris, you and I went to the theater and saw Terrifier 3. I know we talked about seeing it, and we did.
I don't know if we saw it. It was more like we experienced it. That's not even like a viewing of a movie. That is like basically it's a physiological, it's a tactile experience.
It's visceral.
And yeah, I felt like I could feel some of the shit happening in that movie, and that's not usually like listen, I'm not squeamish, and I wasn't close to being like, oh, like gotta walk out of the theater kind of thing, but it's concerning that somebody has thought of those things. You know what I mean? Like has actually like you know, written all the details to it and like really drawn it out.
Got money from a studio to make it.
Yeah, I mean it's perfect for what the franchise is, and it just it's a kind of like the horror version of John Wick, where it's just like each iteration they just double down. They know exactly what the audience and it's for a specific audience, and they know that, and they just cater 150% to that audience, which I respect. You know, you're not trying to be a movie that's for everyone, which no movie is.
Yeah, it was an experience. It definitely was an experience. It definitely went out of its way to try to top the other two in certain ways, and in certain ways it did succeed.
I've not heard one definitely positive statement yet.
It's good for if you're going because you like the other two movies, you're gonna like this one. Like it's the same thing, just. They expand on the lore a little more, and yeah, there's more going on. I will say, I think Art the Clown is now like, I don't know, he's become like not in the same tier as like Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, but he's getting there. I think there's a fourth one that's already been confirmed. So I think when that one comes out, if that one is still the same quality as these three, I think he's in there. There is a scene. There's a couple scenes, but there is a scene that people will talk
That's
about.
How movies work, yeah.
There is a scene that involves a shower and a chainsaw that we won't get into, but Chris knows what I'm talking about.
So, like all the hype leading up to the movie, like I think everyone was talking about like the opening scene, right? Or
yeah, well, you kept telling me the opening scene. Well, they did this with two, the second one as well, where people were like, oh, they walked out of the theater in the opening scene because they couldn't handle it.
And yeah, exactly. So it made me like, I was really focusing on the opening scene, which was like, by comparison to the rest of the movie, like super tame. So like the scene that I would say was most disturbing was like quite a ways into the movie. Also, These movies are a little drawn out.
For sure. For sure.
I don't think this needed to be a 2 hour. It was a little. Was it over 2 hours?
It was slightly over 2 hours.
Or just shy.
Slightly over 2
Okay.
hours. But the second one was
Lord.
2.5 hours.
Exactly. Like they don't need to be, but there's also like a stylistic, like, I don't know. There's a funny component where like the kills, there's always like 1 or 2 extra hacks. That's just a little too much. You know what I mean? Like where most movies would be like hack them up, like 3 hacks and
Yeah.
then like cut to something else. But this one goes like, you know what I mean? Like
They go
5,
for it.
6, 7. Like it just gets a little bit like, it takes like a scare, not scary, but like a disturbing scene, and like then I'm starting to laugh. Like Ryan and I were like, "What the fuck is?"
Well, I think
going
that's
on?
the point.
It is.
And Art's kind of like a funny villain himself, and he's also just a sadistic son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So I think that those prolonged kills, I think, just help build his character, if you want to call that character building. But I think that is what's going on. And then I don't know, the supernatural stuff is getting a little confusing for me a little bit, but I think I understand what's going on at this point, but I don't know. I don't know.
I think that's their way. Honestly, I feel like that had to be incorporated in order to justify continued like movies.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it's just like an axe murdering clown, I don't think there's a whole lot of like, we can make a 4th and a 5th and a 6th with this. So I think that's where that came in. I would say there's some instances where I could actually see like the increase in the budget.
Oh yeah.
And then there's also still like, I felt like there were more like sets. They like the movie actually had like more places that it was taking place.
Yeah.
But then there's still a lot of like, low budget charm where it's like you could tell they're literally in somebody's like kitchen of like an actual house, not like they built a house.
Somebody,
you know what I mean? Like
could be the director's house or something, like pulling a Paranormal Activity. You know?
Yeah. The effects are a little bit better, but I think kind of like other movies that are like this gory. There's a style that they go for, and it's like over the top, but not, in my opinion, not like hyper realistic. Like it's almost like jokingly detailed. Like they have like so many organs hanging out, but it just like doesn't. I don't know.
No, and the sound design in this movie is disgusting, but like in a good way. Like especially that was probably
squishy sounds.
There's a lot of squishy and crunchy sounds going on. The hacking,
like thuds.
Yeah, that was the best part of the opening scene. Was just like, especially when he kills that one person, and just you don't see the kill, but the sounds that are happening, what's happening. Like that
it's like it's drawn out. It's like 2 minutes of just like thud, thud, whack, whack, whack.
Like in a theater with a surround sound like that. Each hack, just like you can feel it.
Yeah. But then after the 20th one, you're like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
where are we
They
going
were dead
here?
after the third one, at least. I do like the main character. I really like the main character, the Sienna. I think she's great. She's becoming like probably the best like female protagonist in a horror movie, like the best final girl that we've had in a while. She's really good. Yeah. I like that actress a lot.
Yeah, she's one too where like you definitely root for her. Some of them you're like, okay, this person's annoying as hell. Please kill them. But you definitely root for her. I will say they still struggle to get like better acting. I know that scary movies are not, we're not going there for like the dialogue, so to speak, but I do think there's some actors and actresses in the franchise that are just like, this is like a Lifetime movie quality acting job.
Yeah, I think the main people are good, but yeah, the side characters that are just cannon fodder, they do die, and they aren't great. They aren't great. I don't want to make this isn't a Terrifier episode, but is this a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie?
Christmas.
It's very Christmassy. It's like you could watch this around the holidays and then just it would vibe. Like there's a lot of Christmas imagery.
Also,
what was that?
Isn't that the movie poster? Also,
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the opening scene takes place on Christmas Eve for like Christmas night. And you got the whole like Christmas tree, like Art's dressed as Santa Claus. So I mean, it's very Christmassy. Like people debate if
People getting murdered with an axe. Yes, it's very Christmassy.
Just gets you it really gets you into the holiday spirit. No, it's definitely. I agree with you. I think it's a Christmas movie, which is crazy to think about and not expect to have that sense when I walked out of that movie.
Side note.
Yeah.
Side note. When we were watching this movie, we discovered. And Derick, I don't know if you're aware of this.
I am not.
And feel free to sponsor this video.
Please.
So Shaq, yes, Shaq as in the basketball player,
Shaquille,
has his own line of gummy candies. And they are XL gummy candies. They're literally like giant Shaq heads. That's his face.
It's the shape of his face.
It's his head as a gummy. You need to look it up.
And the detail is actually good.
Yeah, they're not. I'm not gonna lie, they're not the best, but there's totally a novelty to like just straight up having a bag of gummy Shacks.
Well, you bought them from Wawa, right? And the guy was like, "We can't keep these on the shelf. Like they keep flying off the shelf."
Yeah, the Wawa employee was like, he saw us looking at him. He's like, "Yo, these are flying off the shelf." He's like, "We can't keep them on here." And I'm like, "Well, no shit," because everyone's like, "What is this? I gotta try this." But it's like aggressively large, the size of each gummy.
They're big.
It's ridiculous.
They're like 2 inches.
Yeah, okay.
At least.
Makes sense, but it's like, it just doesn't, I don't get it.
But
it's so
the
weird.
attention to detail, too. Like, it looks like if you saw it and you didn't know it was a Shaquille O'Neal candy, like, you would look at him like, that's Shaq.
You're like, is that Shaq?
That fucking Shaq on a gummy? Like, what is going on here?
At a Shaq on a gummy. So anyway, that was we were experiencing two things that night: Terrifier and the Shaq XL gummies.
I think it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, and it's like blue and red, and they kind of like, it's just like, I don't know. It feels like they're not real. It feels like somebody made them like without permission.
What won't Shaq do for money, for a paycheck?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, is he hurting that bad?
No, I just think he just likes he just likes being relevant.
Oh, they're called Shaq-alicious XL gummies.
Not sponsored, but Shaq-alicious XL gummies come in 2 flavor varieties. One featuring his faces in flavors of peach, berry punch, and orange, and one featuring shapes tied to his infamous nicknames: Diesel, the Big Cactus, and the Big Shamrock, and sour flavors of green watermelon, pineapple, and mixed berry. Grab yours now. That's what I would say if we were sponsored.
What a great
We're gonna have Shaq on this podcast.
Shaq-alicious gummies.
We're available, my boy.
We cut Shaq. We cut Shaq a check. He'll appear on this podcast. He'll do anything for money. He'll do anything for a paycheck.
I did not know he had the nickname the Big Cactus.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I didn't.
feel like that's
Welcome to the 5 O'Clock Sweats podcast. I'm the Big Cactus. Joined as always by. I'm Ryan.
So, yeah.
My handsome buddies. Shaquille O'Neal.
I guess Ryan's been busy is basically what we gathered.
Busier than I guess more than I thought. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. So Derick.
Ooh.
What have you been doing?
Yeah, sure. So a little bit on me that we haven't released an episode since October. I moved in the beginning of November. So I've really not had a lot of free time to devote to the things that we like to podcast about.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going to kind of reach back to the last time we did one of these, normal episodes. Last time I talked about a game called Army of Ruin. It's like a roguelite auto shooter, described as one of the, bullet heaven games.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something I played on my Steam Deck, like before I went to bed, just kind of, something mindless to kind of help me wind down.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, sort of 100%ed it. Only kind of, depending on how you look at it.
I need more. I need an elaboration.
I beat all the levels on every difficulty.
Okay.
And completed all the achievements. But I didn't beat every level with every character. And I didn't purchase all the upgrades. So obviously I didn't actually 100% it. There's still more.
Yeah, that's like
game
90%ing it.
Yeah.
Close enough.
So basically I haven't played the game. It was really fun. I'd recommend it for like a mindless game with a little asterisk that like if you don't have the money to buy some of the upgrades, like some of the levels can be just a fucking grind. But
so it's like real currency to like get actual like in-game upgrades.
It's like, I don't know, you play a level, you get 500 gold or whatever, and then you pay to get damage boosters or whatever.
But you can buy gold with real money.
No, I don't think so.
So it's in-game currency.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If there is, then I never took advantage of that.
Because I'm not sure. My credit card's just maxed out.
We don't want to enable these game studios to promote the online store.
Yeah.
We like in-game currency. We like earning shit.
I'm just conditioned to think that that's going to be in every game. So I was like, oh yeah, they must have a way where you can buy it with real money. Space
Marine 2 changed my opinion on that, or my whatever, my outlook.
Oh Lord!
So you were playing that while you were in bed.
Yep. And
I don't know if I needed that
definitely
detail,
fell asleep playing a couple times, and on the levels that are infinity long, like the enemies just keep coming as long as you just keep killing them. So that was interesting. I also played a game called Nodebuster. It's a $3 game on Steam. It is designed to be a short game, but essentially it's like swarms of shapes appear on your screen, and every now and then, wherever your crosshair is, it takes a shot. And each shot takes health away from enemies, but enemies also have armor. So if you shoot an enemy with armor, you take damage.
Interesting. I'm looking at it right now.
There's also a pretty big upgrade tree. So you can like increase your fire rate or your damage or your max health, your shot size, and even going up to like getting drones that auto shoot for you. Again, there's not a ton of content here.
That looks fun.
It's designed to be short, so it was a nice way to kill a couple of hours. I'd say maybe.
But it's a good Steam Deck game. It looks like both of those, when I was looking them up, they're like perfect for the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only thing that I think I can knock it on is that the balance of the in-game currencies got kind of out of whack towards the end. There's one currency where you convert like your normal money into that currency to unlock other stuff, but it doesn't really scale well. You can literally get by with one of those currencies, but for some reason you end up with like a bazillion and it doesn't matter. All it
that's
does
kind
is
of like
processing time.
Apex. Remember there was like how many there was crafting tokens, Ryan.
Yeah.
There was what else? There's like the actual
Apex
like real
coins,
money currency.
Apex coins,
which is,
and the crafting.
And then what was the other? But there's another
one where you can use that to unlock characters and stuff. You just have like you have an infinite amount of that basically. I mean,
exactly. So I hate when games do that, where there's either it's the currency or one of the currencies that's just like has absolutely, is so inflated. There's just like no freaking value to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And you accumulate like a gazillion, and eventually there's no use for it. And it's like, I don't like that. That to me ruins like any sense of progression.
Yeah.
Even in a game where like there's leveling, right? And you hit max level, but you're still gaining experience points. It's like, that to me is annoying. Like it should just be going towards something.
Yeah.
Even if it's stupid. It just, yeah.
Yeah. So nice way to spend a couple hours for $3.
Hell yeah. Money well spent.
I don't think they're going to keep updating it. I don't think there's going to be like balance changes or whatever. Because I think that might just be it, whatever it is out there now.
Like that's the type of game where it doesn't need like a live service, sort of like some TLC, you know?
Yeah, I could see them like adding to the skill tree or rebalancing the currencies, or adding more mechanics, but for $3 I'm not really going to complain.
I'm assuming if it's $3, it's indie. So they're going to definitely take the money and like make a second one, or take the money to make a battle pass for it.
Oh my god, freaking battle
Every
pass.
game needs a battle pass.
Oh no.
Some way, somehow, they'll squeeze one in. Who knows?
Speaking of battle pass, the one game that I think I've bought the pass in for, I don't remember the last time I didn't buy it, and that's Rocket League. I've still been playing. I've been playing casually for a while now, but I feel like I've been playing a lot more recently. This is, I checked my stats. This is almost the best I've ever been.
Wow.
I did peak in 2021, so it has been a really long time. That was the new season 4, which is overall season 18, 2021. That was when I peaked Diamond 2 in 1v1s, Champ 2 in 2v2, and then all the way back in Legacy season 12 was when I peaked Champ 1 in 3s. So
what's
I am
Champ like in the hierarchy of ranks? Is it like
above average, but not good?
No.
Okay.
Champ sounds like it would be really good, but
sounds like it'll be like a diamond or platinum.
Yeah, there's maybe what is it? Silver, gold, platinum, diamond, champ, grand champ, which used to be the highest, and then supersonic legend.
Okay.
Supersonic legend. That's dope.
Yeah, that sounds dope.
And I've never been higher than a champ 2.
Okay.
So
that's still damn good though. It sounds like.
I feel like I'm almost. I feel like I might be better now than I was. I'm just not playing as much competitive as I was before, because now I'm hitting a lot of those like I understand it now type shots.
Yeah, and
it's actually really satisfying once you get like mechanics down and like knowing when to use them. That's the one game where like when I play and practice, I actually feel rewarded for doing so.
Yeah, because there's a skill gap.
In Counter-Strike, it's like, all right, well, if I learn the lineups for my utility, right? If I know how to throw a smoke grenade in a specific place, if I know how to flash grenade so that, only the other team can see this flash and my team's fine just running out. Like that's not really, it doesn't give you the same amount of satisfaction as like knowing like when to do what on the field in Rocket League. So I think that's what keeps me going back there.
Yeah, it's probably because you're not learning like just you're not just learning like a mechanic. You're learning sort of like how to apply like a new skill set. And I think it's like in any sports game, right? Where it's like, or just even in sports in real life, it's like, sure, you can learn how to like shoot properly, but to like apply it in a game is very satisfying. So I've not played much Rocket League, but I have played it at times over the years, and I'm totally a lost cause. I'm the guy that's just jumping and but like this is me when I play. I'm like I'm constantly
like bunny,
you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm gonna nudge the car closer to the ball.
Yeah, that's a game.
Crazy concept. Who came up with that? Like, and how it's exploded.
$1 billion idea. I mean, I feel I've downloaded it and I've played it before. I feel like it's a game that I would love if I actually like put in the effort and time to learn the mechanics and everything. I just haven't done it.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a couple of open gaming slots.
I do.
Maybe that's
it's never too late, but I just feel like I'm so I don't know.
It is too late. That game's been out for a while. It's too late.
Yeah, but the skill-based matchmaking would that's where it benefits me. It puts me with other noobs, and I can play against noobs if there's any.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, perfect.
Chris, how about you and I? We dip our toes into the Rocket League pool now.
Nope. I've been there. I will not do that. That is, I put that up there with like League of Legends, Rainbow Six Siege, games that have just been out for way too long, and like to jump in now, there are people that have, and I mean literal thousands and thousands and thousands of hours in all of those games, Rocket League included. To play like with your friends is cool, but like I wouldn't be able to. I couldn't tolerate trying to be competitive in that. First of all, I just don't have the patience to like try to get good at soccer with cars. It is fun though. It's a game to play for fun. I couldn't take it competitively. I think I would actually just rage.
I think my favorite thing about Rocket League is that just probably the two most random athletes that I can think of play it. And, well, you know one of them, Chris. Derick knows both of them, but you got Boston Scott, who's like really good apparently. I sent Derick.
He's at least a grand champ now.
Yeah, that's crazy. I sent Derick a clip.
GC1 before.
He had a clip on X or Twitter, whatever, recently, and I sent it to Derick. I was like, "Oh,
that's so funny! I didn't know that."
And then Calvin Heimberg, right? Professional disc golf player. He plays Rocket League, right?
Is that confirmed? Do we know that?
Maybe not.
I think you're thinking of. I ran into a player named Calvin Heimberg in a match, just a 1v1, and I mean, I play disc golf. I know who Calvin Heimberg is, and there's no knowing if that's Calvin Heimberg. But if anyone's going to name themselves their own name, it would be Calvin Heimberg.
Yeah, on Rocket League.
So I think all I said to him was, Calvin Heimberg fan, ? And I think he just said, yeah. And now we're friends on Steam, so.
But he would also be one to say, like, yeah, I'm a fan of myself. yeah, he's cool. He's pretty good.
It's Schrodinger's Heimberg.
I don't know.
Don't know if it's him or not. Won't ever find out.
My headcanon was going to just keep thinking it's actually Calvin Heimberg.
Yeah, kind of me too.
Why not? What's the harm?
And the last thing that's kind of related to gaming, I started being the dungeon master for a little D&D campaign.
Oh, cool.
And that is I have 3 players. One of them is Ryan.
Yeah.
One of them is friend of the podcast, Connor.
Yeah.
And the other one is friend of the podcast, Emily.
Yeah.
So the 3 of us got together in the beginning of September. And I think beforehand, like I wanted to set the expectation, like, all right, let's see how this goes first before I go writing a whole, fucking anthology about what this thing's going to be. So we were going to do a one shot and then figure out if we wanted to continue. Ironically, we did get halfway through the one shot before we had to stop. So that decision point may or may not still come.
Yeah.
It sounds like maybe people are interested in continuing.
I am.
Hopefully we can get that second session in before the end of the year. I've been doing a lot of writing for it. I have a lot of concepts, but as a writer, I'm just struggling to kind of link them together.
Mm-hmm.
And then also from this one shot that I, found online, like it's a real thing. Like, how do I link that into the fucking story of the wonder that I've written somewhere else? That one's a little bit weird, especially because we haven't played the second session. I have no idea how that's going to play out yet. But
I'm excited for whenever we do that. It'll have to be virtual, probably. It's a shame because I had so much fun doing it in person, and I'm hoping that we can eventually do it in person again someday.
Yeah.
We'll have to coordinate schedules and everything, but I think it's possible. Certainly possible. Yeah. So
I agree. Maybe some more D&D content to follow at some point in this podcast. But real quick on the TV end, I'm gonna skip over anime. There's like 12 that I'm watching. We'll hit that in another episode.
Yeah.
But something I started this past week that just came out is St. Denis Medical.
Never heard of it.
It's a sitcom. I think it's on NBC. Yeah, it's on Peacock. But it's created by Justin Spitzer and Eric Legend. Spitzer is the creator of Superstore, which I thought was fantastic. And he was also a writer and producer on The Office.
Okay.
The other guy, Eric Legend, was a Superstore producer. Also worked on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And this is a mockumentary style sitcom about a hospital in Oregon that's trying to become like a destination hospital. And there's like a workaholic nurse, an incompetent executive, an aloof nurse, a fucking dumb as rocks guy, and a wild card but caring doctor. It's fun so far. The first episode I thought was really good. So I went on to the second episode, which I also thought was really good. That was like a back-to-back premiere.
Mm-hmm.
I figure, all right, I'll 3-episode test this one. Third episode came out this week. Also pretty good. So I'm just going to continue watching that.
Nice. I'm looking at the cast.
The next thing you know, it'll be The Walking Dead.
Oh, God. Well,
it'll be 3 seasons in and be like, what has happened?
The Walking Dead would totally pass the 3-episode test. It's just, it's going to lead to disappointment eventually. But if you stop after like season 5, I think you'll have fun. I'm looking at this.
Cast is good. I like him.
Do you know any of these actors from previous things? Because I don't recognize any of these people.
Mecky Leaper, I think was a stand-up comic, or is a stand-up comic or something like that. I know I've definitely seen him in other stuff. David Alan Grier, I know the name. I now know the face. Couldn't tell you anything about that. Wendy McClendon Covey, I recognize, but don't know her from anything else. And I'm going to butcher this. I'm so sorry. Calico Kauahi. She was also in Superstore, and she basically plays exactly the same character, and it's very fun.
Well, cool. I'll check it out. Maybe I can use a good sitcom in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty good so far. I'm gonna continue with it. That's about it for me. Chris, what do you got?
I pale in comparison to you two. I really haven't been doing much new. I've just been doing a lot of work. But in terms of, our podcast related stuff, obviously, Ryan touched on this, and I certainly won't make this a Call of Duty episode by any stretch. But that's been, my game of choice. Everyone knows I'm like, the brain rot COD guy. I play games to tune out, and Call of Duty is that, right? Like, who cares? I just, spawn, run, die. Spawn, run, die. Like, just keep doing that on repeat. It's fun to kind of grind the camos. For anybody, listening or watching that is a COD fan, especially the OGs, they did bring back the original Prestige system where you get to level 55. You have to go through the menu. You got to hold A for like 5 seconds and boom, or Y, whatever it is, and you're prestiged. And, the younger generation of COD players would say, what the hell is the point of prestiging? Because it resets all your unlocks in terms of weapons. So you have to go through the whole leveling system to re-unlock your guns. But the nice thing is all the attachments stay unlocked once you get the gun again. Camo challenges are still tracking, so you're not really resetting a lot other than your rank and having to unlock things. This is actually kind of like they did this better. The OG system really used to be like you got a new emblem, like that was legit, like it.
Yeah.
And now there's like some cosmetics and like operator skins locked behind prestiging, so there's a little bit more like incentive to do it. But I think it's cool because for a lot of these, newer, Call of Duty players, this is their first time getting to experience that. And, we grew up in the old times where we played games for the sake of playing games, right?
Yeah.
We weren't actually unlocking or, getting rewards or cosmetics. So it's like teaching people to play for the sake of playing. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. Overall, Black Ops 6, it's good, zombies, multiplayer, and the campaign. I haven't finished it yet. I've been taking my time, but so far it's pretty good. I mean, COD is COD. It's never going to be... It's like that pizza joint in your town that you just know, like, what you're going to get. It's not going to be great,
it's like Pizza Hut.
But it's not going to be total shit as long as you understand what it is that you're going to be getting. And I think some people just... have these wild expectations that what COD has been doing for the last 20 years they're going to suddenly change. They're going to put out the same shit every year.
Yeah.
Just it's going to look a little different, feel a little different, but it's the same shit. And that's what it is. So like I don't take it too seriously. It's fun to just burn a few hours at the end of a crazy work day. Getting like absolutely shit on by I don't even know what these kids are anymore. Maybe like 15 or 16. I will say though, as a gamer in his 30s, a lot of the homies are like, when I play with them, they're like, man, I don't know. I think we're just aging out. Like, I just can't keep up. Like, I'm still putting up numbers.
You're still killing it.
I still feel good.
You're still in your prime.
I kind of feel like, I kind of feel like I might be Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, definitely not Aaron Rodgers.
Definitely not Aaron Rodgers.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like, when I have to hang it up, I'll know, and I'll admit to it. But yeah, I feel like it's changed, and we've talked about this in gaming, but like growing up when we played Call of Duty, like if you look at the gameplay then versus now, it is like so just like elementary. It's just gaming in general has become so competitive and so like, I don't know, the skill gap in every game.
Yeah.
Like we talk about Rocket League, like every game we talk about, it gets like can we play a game just to like chill?
Well, I know what
you can't.
Yeah.
And at least a multiplayer game. And then COD is getting worse in that regard, but I still feel like, I can hold my own. And, so that's what I've been doing. Camo grinding on COD. I haven't really been watching anything. I have this problem now where if it's past 8 o'clock and I put something on, I am 100% falling asleep and waking up to not even the end credits, but like the screensaver on my TV. So you know what I mean? Like I'm
It fell asleep with you.
like I'm like I could have probably watched the movie twice in the time I fell asleep.
That's so good.
Sometimes you fall asleep, wake up to the credits. Like I'm way past that point.
It took me 3 times to watch the season finale of 9 Perfect Strangers because I was falling asleep. I fell asleep at the like 5 minutes in. I woke up at the very end, and I was like, "Oh God, this is like the ending of the show. Like I don't know what's happening, but this is weird." So yeah, I feel you. I mean, I have that same problem kind of now, which
it's
sucks.
Such a pain.
It's a pain in the ass.
Because it's not for a lack of like not wanting to watch like whatever it is. Like sometimes you put something on knowing you're just gonna fall asleep to it. Like all right, I've seen this 20 times. Like I'll just put it on, whatever. But then there's times where like I do really want to watch something, and I'm just like, I don't though. Or like sometimes I'm too tired to game. Like what the fuck does that mean? Like I just like I don't, my brain is so tired I can't even concentrate on anything. Yeah. So I feel like I've been going through that a lot. So I haven't been watching a ton. Obviously, Ryan and I went to the movies to see Terrifier. That was the last thing I really watched. Might give The Penguin a shot. I'm just kind of feeling out like a good show. Like I'm really missing like I need like a midnight mass.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I know.
Like that,
so smooth.
I just need a series like that. That it's just like I need to know what's going on, so I gotta watch the next episode. I just haven't had one. I think
The Penguin's gonna scratch that itch for you. I think you are really gonna like it if you start it.
Yeah, and that's the other hurdle too. Is I have a tough time like once I get into something, I'm like, there's a good chance I'm gonna like it, but I have like this like anxiety about like starting something because I'm like, then I gotta like.
Finish it.
You know what I mean? Like but if it sucks, it's like at what point do you abandon ship?
Yeah,
I know that struggle a lot. You should see my list of anime that I want to watch and how it only grows because I'm like, oh, I could watch it, but then I'm gonna have to watch all of it. And
or I say to myself like, I could go and watch this new thing and it could be great, or it could suck. Or I could just watch this thing I've seen 100 times and I know I like it. So it's like I end up gravitating towards the same shit, which I don't want to do. But that's kind of been my dilemma. So I've not really opened up to much. Plus, we have like, you guys like Hulu, Disney Plus, like
so many.
Netflix. I start to forget like where am I supposed where should I even look tonight? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'll go on Max. I'll be like, okay, well, maybe Netflix. Like fuck, man. There's like. I wish there was just one. Somebody needs to make an app that merges all of their things into one, which I know.
Paying $500 a month for it.
Yeah, it's called cable.
That's true, actually.
It's called Xfinity, motherfuckers. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to get through that mental block of watching something. But I guess The Penguin could be it.
It's bad. Just think like it's in the Batman universe. I can do it. You can do it. Yeah, I really think that first
know.
episode will grab you. I think, and it's only an hour.
Is there a lot of action?
Uh,
Or is it like very
It's
like
it's
almost
is it very
none.
There
like
is action.
Like detective-y
no,
crime solving?
I mean, there's like some crime, like behind the scenes, like pulling the string sort of things. But even like this is the type of show where I find the dialogue scenes where they're just like talking it to be very interesting. But there are action scenes, like
And didn't they recast Carmine Falcone?
they did. But you'll watch the show and you'll see. It's not a big
Okay.
deal.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal. This guy's better.
Cool.
Oh, it's Mark Strong. I like Mark Strong.
Mark Strong.
How strong is he?
He's from like the Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
where
knew
else
him from Kingsman. I was like, I
Okay,
know
yeah.
the name.
Mhm.
As soon as he popped up, I'm like, oh yeah, I know this motherfucker.
Kingsman's a good movie.
He's also the the villain in Kick-Ass 1.
Oh yeah.
The dad.
Somehow that shit always comes up. I don't know. We're the only people that bring up Kick-Ass.
'Cause I like the first Kick-Ass.
the entire world has forgotten about
Nick
that.
Cage's best role, besides Longlegs
Damn, dude. Now I
And-
want to watch Kick Ass.
and Con Air.
Yes, Con Air.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's me. Not much, but COD. Surprise.
surprise! I like Black Ops 2 so far. I got to play more of it.
6.
Black Ops 6. Sorry, yeah.
Or are
Wow.
you saying you like Black Ops as well?
I like Black Ops 6 as well, and I just got to play more of it. But
I think too, for you, especially for you, like, right, you're not like COD is like maybe 4th or 5th on your shooter list, maybe further down. But
no,
the fact that it's been on Game Pass, I think, has been good, at least for, because there's a lot of years where like I'll get COD when it releases and it's like nobody else is really playing it, like friend group wise, or like some people will get it and play it like the first week and then like drop it. So I think Game Pass is nice because, like, you can sort of convince people later on in the life cycle to pick it up. And also, some people have just been more inclined to play it because it's, not free, but it's with a subscription,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, it's the highest selling Call of Duty of all time, right? I mean,
They say that every year.
I
It's like
know.
the iPhone. They're like, this is our best iPhone yet. Like, no shit.
It better be.
It better be.
Better be
Yeah,
better than the
better
last
be.
one.
It's like when you're a kid too, right? You're like, this is the best Christmas ever. Like every Christmas. Like, no shit.
No, Game Pass definitely inflated those numbers, but it's good. The more people playing games, the better, I guess. All right. Well,
Yeah, but it is kind of stale. Like, you're right, that the gaming landscape, there's a lot
it's
out there,
barren.
but it's just like, I think we're also at a point though where, again, like TV shows, I need something I can get in and out, like COD, right? Play it for a few hours, get off, like,
Yeah.
and I can get back on and just play again. Like, not like there's some grind that I'm like behind on or whatever. I just feel like there's some games out there that would be great, but I just don't have the time, so therefore I don't even try.
Yeah, I feel that way about Abbott. I love Abbott Elementary, I'm behind at this point. It's such an easy show to watch. Like, it's just, they're like 25, 30-minute episodes. It's a mockumentary style. It's funny. It takes place in Philly. There's a lot of like references to Philly things. Like, I should love it, and I do love it, but I just like, I don't know. Whatever it is, I think I'm just like 2 seasons behind now, and I'm just like,
Oh,
I don't know. I want to watch it though. I feel that block that you were mentioning earlier.
it's called being old.
I guess. Just gotta. I don't know.
30 and above club. A lot of mental blocks.
This makes me sad though. That shouldn't happen.
And yet.
So really quick, I know we're gonna be wrapping up here shortly. I want to transition to stuff maybe we're looking forward to playing or watching before the end of the year. I'll name one thing that I did. That's on my list. Arcane Season 2, which is the
Right,
League
I
of
saw that
Legends
dropped. I was going to
animated
ask you
show.
about that.
Yeah, I knew it was coming out in November, but it just kind of took me by. It was on Netflix, and I was like, "Oh, new season available." Oh, that just happened. Arcane Season 1 was fantastic. I loved that show. It's been like 3 or 4 years since it came out, so this has been like
Really?
a very
God damn.
hyped up season. I think it was like 2020 or 2021 it came out. But this season's been people have been waiting for this for a long time. So I haven't heard really anything about it. I'm sure it's great, but I'm definitely going to be checking that out. And I don't know nothing about League of Legends either, and I can just hop on and watch it. The animation's breathtaking. The story is fantastic. The characters are good. It's just a really, really good story. And you don't need any League of Legends background to like it. It definitely enhances it. Probably there's a lot of Easter eggs, probably, and references, but I don't really care about that. I'm trying to think of anything else. I guess I'm just going to continue watching the shows that are coming out. I got to finish The Penguin and then all the anime that I've been watching weekly. I'm excited to finish those and see those till the end and see how those conclude. There is a Lord of the Rings anime movie coming to theaters in December. The War of Rohirrim. Yes, a feature-length Lord of the Rings anime releasing in theaters around Christmas time. What more could I ask for?
yeah, it's gonna fuck.
Yeah, I'll be seated promptly for that opening weekend, probably. But besides that, I can't really think of anything else I'm really super looking forward to watching or playing right now. I mean, gaming-wise, like we said, it's kind of barren. I don't have like a game I'm really looking forward to playing. Just maybe playing more and more Black Ops and maybe some Halo Infinite. But Chris, what are you looking forward to playing or watching anything before the end of the year?
I think for me, like we said, I'm going to try to watch The Penguin. But gaming-wise, I've been kind of looking into it's a new release, Stalker 2.
Ooh. Now that you mention
Takes place
that,
in Chernobyl, and I'm like, again, another game which I know I would like, but it's like, do I have the attention span and time to, focus on? So it's one of those ones where like it might end up or probably will end up in the backlog. I think it's like a game where if I happen to get any like Steam gift cards over the holidays, like throw it towards that kind of thing, and then we'll see. But that would probably be like the only game right now on my radar.
I did forget that
looks
came
sick.
out. It's on Game Pass,
November 20th.
So I should play it. And
9 out of 10 on Steam. Very positive reviews. 16,500 of them.
The only negative for me on console is that I think it's only running on 30 FPS, which is just like
I don't understand.
2024. Come on,
they can allow that exactly.
Like, and I have a Series S. It's a next gen console though. Like, give me 60 frames. The graphic fidelity. At least give me the option to like lower the graphic fidelity a little bit so I can play at 60 frames. Like, I don't know. I'm just getting like Starfield PTSD from seeing that. But I'll probably check it out and see what it's like, especially since it's on Game Pass.
I didn't know it was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So that makes it even more
accessible.
Yeah, and for me, really nothing. Other than the animes I'm already watching this season, which I'm saving for another episode. That's maybe... I don't know. I was thinking about watching Terrifier, but it feels like a month and a half too late.
Terrifier 3 is a Christmas movie. You can catch up before Christmas.
Yeah. No. That convinced me not to do it, actually. I was going to do it like next week, and I'm like, not anymore.
Wait, but aren't you on like a John Wick kick?
John Wick.
I should finish those other two. We did have the John Wick 1, John Wick 2 episode. Never followed it up with 3 and 4.
It could be.
3 and 4 are good. Like I said, they just more Keanu. You can never get enough.
And they are working on another one. Somehow, some way.
Surprise.
Interesting.
And
it's going to be him shooting guns at other people, shooting guns back at him.
Yeah, probably. I would bet my savings that's what happens.
And he's gonna be like, "Yeah,
no, that was the first one.
I think I'm back."
Something like that.
I think robust. I'm fucking. Oh well, I can't say fucking.
Precise.
I'm back. Well, this podcast is where friendship meets leisurely activity in the same way that, again, not sponsored, Shackalicious XL gummies are where big meets delicious.
Yes.
Wow, that was a lot for my mouth and the way I say things.
Whoa.
Phrasing.
Anyway, you can follow us on Instagram. We're at 5 o'clock sweats. We're on Twitter at 5 o'clock sweats. We're on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Anything else?
Aren't we on Napster?
Oh, we
MySpace?
were until, whole thing came out. No, Justin Timberlake doesn't like us like that. No. Does he still own MySpace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Him and Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield doesn't, though. Andrew Garfield definitely doesn't. If you've seen them.
Yeah, he left to become Spider-Man.
But Jesse Eisenberg is still involved.
We can also like MySpace for the right price.
We're getting our social media things confused.
What? Whoever wants to sponsor them, they can. And as always,
stay sweaty.
Bang.
Bang. MySpace and Facebook are not the same thing.